Hi, this is Miss Wade. I wanted to take a minute and go over the week 1, day 4 worksheets. Now, that included the growth and change with the worksheet that went with growth and change, and then also it was this whole bunch of story problems for week 1, day 4. So the bulk of the time I'm going to spend going over these story problems. I will really quick go over the reading and writing. Really, this was writing, creative writing, where you got to kind of come up with your own ending of the story. So just like always, the first thing you're going to want to do when you have a passage like this is read it for 1 minute and see how many words you can read in 1 minute. And then you'll go ahead and read all the way through for understanding. So I'm going to do that right now. Make sure we can see it all. There we go. This is called Growth and Change. Read the following story with your child, then have him or her write an ending to the story or dictate an ending for you to write. Once upon a time, there lived a poor family who worked hard every day. Papa would go to town and look for jobs. Peter would go to the nearby farms to milk cows, and his mother would mend clothes. Everyone worked hard to put food on the table for the evening meal. Everyone, that is, except Henry. Henry was too young to help Papa with his jobs, too afraid of cows to help his brother, and didn't know how to mend clothes. One day, Henry was sitting by the road to town when a farmer passed on his way to market. "Hello, Henry," called the farmer. "What are you doing sitting all alone by the road?" "Oh, hello," mumbled Henry. "I'm wishing I could help my family. Everyone works so hard so we can buy food for our supper. Everyone but me. I'm too young to help Papa, too afraid of cows to help my brother, and I don't know how to mend clothes with my mother. I'm afraid I'm rather useless." "Now, Henry," replied the farmer, "no person is useless. We all have ways to help. Sometimes it is difficult to discover how." The farmer reached into his wagon and pulled out a small sack. He handed the sack to Henry, and he said, "Sometimes all we need is some help getting started with a little creativity. See what you can do with these to help your family. Good luck, Henry." The farmer continued on his way to market. Henry looked into the sack. He saw a potato, a carrot, and a handful of seeds. "How will one potato, one carrot, and some seeds help me or my family?" Henry wondered. "It's not much of a meal." But as Henry sat and thought, and thought, and sat, an idea began to form in his head. As the idea grew, so did his excitement. "I know what I'll do with these," exclaimed Henry as he jumped up and ran home. All right, so it's kind of an abrupt ending, but that's because you're going to write the ending. So it's giving you a beginning and a middle, and you need to write the end. So you're going to write, what will Henry do, and how will it help his family? So it needs an ending, but the ending needs to help show how Henry will help his family in some way. And this is creative writing, so as long as you're using your complete sentences, spaces, periods, and what you write relates to what you read, you're in good shape. All right, so let's take a look at the math. All right, so the math is story problems. Represent and solve problems involving addition and subtraction. And these are addition and subtraction problems within 100. So these problems, you need to understand the story. So that's what I always say, before we can answer a story problem, we need to understand who it involves, what's going on, and what the problem is asking you. So we're going to read through the problem first. Andrew had 42 baseball cards in his collection. He bought 13 more at his friend's yard sale. How many baseball cards does Andrew have now? Draw a picture to help you solve this problem. write an equation to represent your work. So the first thing we ask is, who is it about? It's about Andrew and also his friend who is having the yard sale. What is it about? It's about baseball cards and the fact that Andrew goes, so what happens in the story is Andrew goes next door to his friend's yard sale and he buys some more baseball cards. And what are we trying to find out? How many baseball cards does Andrew have now? So he had 42. He bought 13 more. So he's getting some more. He's not giving them away, he's getting them. So we're going to add. And it says draw a picture to help you solve this problem. So I think I'm going to do base 10 blocks. So I'm going to show 42 with base 10 blocks. And then I'm going to show that I am adding 13 more because he added 13. So that's 10, 11, 12, 13. And then I'm going to add all of that together. So I'll add the 10s. That's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And the ones, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I can see that I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. So if I show that as an equation, it's 42 plus 13 equals 55. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. Number 2. So again, we're going to read the problem. We're going to ask, who is it about? What is it about? What's going on in the story? And what are we trying to find out? Elizabeth had a box of crayons. She found 16 more crayons when she cleaned out her desk and put them in the box. Now there are 27 crayons in the box. How many were in the box to begin with? All right, who is it about? It's about Elizabeth. What is it about? Crayons. And what is she doing? She had some crayons, and then when she cleaned her desk, she found some more crayons. So what are we trying to find out? Well, how many crayons did she have in the first place before she found the crayons in her desk? So Elizabeth had a box of crayons. We don't know how many crayons are in Elizabeth's box, so we're just going to put a question mark there. But we do know that she found 16 more crayons. So she had some and then she found some more. And then she ended up with 27 crayons after she found the 16. So we know that the total in the box at the end was 27. And she will not have started with more than 27. That's our biggest number. So I'm going to put 27 here. I'm going to do a number bond. When I'm trying to do missing addend, I like to do the number bond because I know missing addend is you have your question mark and you have the known number, which in this case is 16. We know that she found 16, okay? And we know that if we add those, we get 27. But because we understand fact families, we also know that we can take our biggest number, subtract an addend, and it will give us the other addend. So since I know that, I'm going to write my equation. So 27 minus 16 equals the other addend. Okay, so now I know I just need to add a number to 16 here, or just subtract. So maybe I'll do a standard algorithm for that, where I'll subtract the 1s. 7 minus 6 is 1. I'll subtract the 10s. 2 10s minus 1 10 is 1 10, which gives me 11. So 27 minus 16 equals 11. There's my equation, and there's my answer, 11 crayons. So Elizabeth had 11 crayons. She found 16 more crayons, and she ended with 27 crayons. All right, let's look at number 3. Kayla had 52 tickets for the carnival games. She used 10 tickets for the ring toss and 12 tickets for the bowling game. How many tickets does Kayla have now? All right, so I'm thinking this is probably a two-step problem. So I'm going to draw 2 boxes, one for each step. Okay, and this is going to be my step 1, and this is going to be my step 2. All right, so I know that it's about Colin. She's at a carnival and she has 52 tickets. And then she plays the ring toss, but it uses 10 tickets. And then she plays a bowling game for 12 tickets. And I want to know how many tickets she has left after she's played those 2 games. So I know that one step that I need to find out is how many tickets she used in all. Okay, so she used 10 tickets for the ring toss and she used 12 tickets for the bowling game. So my step 1 is going to be adding 10 plus 12 to find out the total number of tickets that she used on the games. Okay, so if I want to draw a picture of that, I could do 10 plus 12 equals, and I have my 2 10s and my 2 1s, and that's 22. Okay, so now I know how many tickets she used. Those tickets are gone. She used them. She is not getting them back. She gave them away so she could play the games. So this is going to be a subtraction problem. So I have to take the total number of tickets that she had to begin with, and I have to subtract the tickets that she used. Well, step 1, I figured out how many tickets she used. Okay, so now for step 2, I'm going to take the number of tickets that she started with, and I'm going to subtract the number of tickets that she used to get my answer. So for this one, I'm going to use the same model. So I'm going to start with 52. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 50, 51, 52. And I'm going to take away 22. So I'm going to start by taking away the 1s. 1, 2. And then I'm going to take away the 10s. 1, 2. And I'm left with 3 10s, or 30 tickets left. So after Kayla used her 22 tickets on the ring toss and the bowling game, she had 30 tickets left that she could still use. All right, let's look at number 4. Will had 28 toy cars in a box. Some of them fell out of the box on the way to his aunt's house. When he opened the box, there were only 9 cars left inside. How many fell out? Okay, so some cars fell out of his box. So this is about Will. He had 28 cars in a box. He went to his aunt's house, and somewhere along the way, some cars fell out. And when he got to his aunt's house, he only had 9 left in the box. All right, so he's losing something. Something is disappearing. It's gone. He's not getting it back, so we are subtracting again. So we know that he had 28 to start with before he lost any. So that's going to be our biggest number. Okay, and then we know that there were 9 cars left when he got to his aunt's house. But we don't know how many fell out. That's our question. So we're going to take our biggest number, subtract an addend, and it's going to tell us the other addend, which is how many fell out of the box. If you take the number that fell out and you add it to the number that were left, you're going to get your total number of cars that you started with. So it's going to be 28 minus 9. So for my picture, I'm going to do a number line. When I subtract, I start on the right-hand side because my number's getting smaller or it's getting closer to 0. So I start with 28, and I want to take away 9, but it's so much easier to take away 10. I'm going to do that instead, minus 10. So 28 minus 10, the digit in the ones place goes down by 1, becomes 18. Except I took away 1 too many. So now I have to hop back to the right 1, or I have to add 1. And when I do that, I get 19. 18 plus 1 is 19. So now we know that 28 minus 9 is 19, and there are 19 lost cars. All right, number 5. Charlotte baked some cupcakes for a bake sale. She sold 23 and had 17 left over. How many cupcakes did Charlotte bake? All right, so she baked some cupcakes. We don't know how many, but we know that she sold 23. When you sell something, you're giving it away. It's gone. You don't get it back, and so that means this is subtraction. She subtracted 23, and she had 17 left. So after subtracting, she had 17 cupcakes. So we know that our biggest number is going to be our question mark. Okay, so we don't know our biggest number. It's however many she sold plus however many she had left over. So if we look at this as a number bond, the 23 is one addend and the 17 is the other addend. So to find out how many she started with, we add those two together. Okay, so to do this, I'm going to add the ones. 7 plus 3 is 10. And then I'm going to add the tens. 10 plus 20 is 30. And 30 plus 10 is 40. So I know that 17 plus 23 is 40, and she baked 40 cupcakes. All right, last two. Number 6. Gavin and Holly worked together to make a paper chain with 55 links. At the end of the day, they each wanted to take home part of the chain. The part Holly took had 27 links. How many links were in Gavin's part? All right, so who is it about? It's about Gavin and Holly, and they're both putting those paper links together and making a chain, and some are putting them here, some are putting them there, and when they're done, they have this nice paper chain with 55 links. But they each want to take part of it home and keep it, and so Holly takes a section that has 27 links, and then we're wondering how many links were in Gavin's part. Okay, so what do we know? Gavin and Holly worked together to make a paper chain with 55 links. 55 is the most number of links because when they were done, that was how many links they had. At the end of the day, they each wanted to take home part of the chain. So part was 27. Holly's part was 27 links, and we don't know how much Gavin's was. So we have to take the 27 links that were Holly's, and we have to add it to Gavin's part. And we don't know what Gavin's part is. The equation would look like this, which is a missing addend. So again, for missing addends, I really like to do a number bond. My biggest number goes here. One of my addends is 27. My other addend is unknown. But I know if I take the largest number, subtract an addend, I get the other addend. So I also know from fact families that I can move these things around. So 55 minus 27 equals our unknown number. All right, so at this point I can do, here I'll do base 10 again. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. Now I want to take away 27, that means 7 ones, but I don't have 7 ones. So I have to get rid of a 10 rod and replace it with 10 ones. So that's my regrouping. So I took that 10 rod out and I put 10 units over here. Okay, so do I still have 55? Let's check. 10, 20, 30, 40, 45, 50, 55. I do. But now I can take away 27. So I'm going to cross out 7 units. Okay, and then I'm going to take away 2 tens, and I'm left with 2 tens here, and I have 5, 6, 7, 8, so that's 28. Okay, so there were 28 links in Gavin's section. Okay, last one. Emma and Joe put together a puzzle. When it was time to clean up, Emma took apart 21 pieces and Joe took apart 39 pieces. How many pieces were in the puzzle? Okay, so this is it's a story about Emma and Joe, and they're building a puzzle, and they built the whole puzzle. They used all the puzzle pieces, and then they had to clean up. And when they cleaned up, Emma took out 21 pieces, and Joe took out 39 pieces. How many pieces were in the puzzle altogether? So we know that if we take Emma's part plus Joe's part and we combine them together, we'll get the total number of pieces in the puzzle. So we take Emma's part, we take Joe's part, and we get the total. Okay, so now we just need to use a strategy. So I'll do the number line to add. I haven't done that in a while. I've been doing it to subtract. So when we use the number line to add, we like to start with the biggest number. So I'm going to start with 39, and I start over here near the 0 because my number is going to get bigger. It's going to get further away from the 0. So now I'm going to add 21. So I start with 39. I'm going to add 21. So I'm going to add 10. 39 plus 10 is 49 because 10 is just easy to add. I'm going to add 10 more because instead of adding 10, I need to add 20. Which takes me to 59, but I still have to add my 1, so I'm going to add 1 more, and that takes me to 60. So the puzzle was 60 pieces. All right, and that's the end. I hope that you did well on this. Let me know if you have any questions, and keep working hard, and I'll see you all later.